All right, we're back for the final time here today, this weekend. We're at Nerd Rage. We've been playing Standard all day. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Eli Loveman to finish out the day, and we've got two great players who have managed to get their way through the Swiss and then navigate their way through the bracket in the top 8. We'll take a quick glance at how through the elimination rounds. Our finalists are Fabrizio Anteri, the number 3 seed, playing Dimir Control, who defeated Andrew Fiedler playing Teamer Adventures. And then we have, in the top 8. And then, help me out here.
Defeated the winner of.
There we go. We defeated Tavares Kamza in the top 4. Sorry about that. And then we had Carson Bell, who defeated Christian Calcano in the top 8 to advance to the finals. And so we have Eli, again, predicted both matches correctly. We have Dimir Control versus Gruul Adventures in the finals. We're going to be watching from Fabrizio's perspective. Eli, this is we're going to bring the deck lists up. This is the side you feel like you'd rather be on out of the two.
Yeah, there's just a lot of the right cards, I think, that Fabrizio has. You can see here that he's not got a lot of creatures, so the main deck of Crone War is not going to do too much. Might not be able to get the Great Henge online in the face of Heartless Act. It's going to be tough to untap with the creature on turn 3. The Ox of Agonis might be able to do a little bit of work, just, hard cast 5 mana, get 3 fresh cards. I think that might be his best path to victory. A couple of landfall creatures and then an Ox to gas back up.
Right. So, and then we'll go ahead and look at Fabrizio's deck, which is a Yorion Dimir Control. Again, we've seen 2 different Dimir Control decks today. We saw a 60-card version, and then here we have the 80-card version, which is basically smashing all day long. He did lose 1 match in the Swiss, but really the power of Atris and Ashiok alongside the Yorion on the sideboard has done a lot of work, and there's Sagas in this deck. There's Shark Typhoon. I guess there's really everything. When you're playing 80 cards, you have room for all of the optional cards.
Yeah, I played 80-card blue-white Yorion in one of the league weekends, and I think the biggest weakness of that deck is that the white answers are not as flexible as the black answers. Elspeth Conquers Death is expensive, right, and Heartless Act is very cheap,
Yeah. Okay, so the players are ready to go. We are in the finals now, and we have Fabrizio Anteri, who was the number 3 seed, going first with a 2-land keep, but with a Cycler and a Scryland, probably totally accepting this hand. And Essence Scatter is certainly a nice card to have.
Yeah, we can see that the reason why Calcano fell to Carson was that he only had 1 Essence Scatter, so we have our 1 Essence Scatter ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more on the way.
There's a land, which is helpful, and it is just a lot of removal.
Yeah, he can curve out 2 mana spell, 2 mana spell, tap land. Oh, man, get that thing out of here.
Yeah, Edgewall Innkeeper. Oh, that's a frustrating card to play against.
I don't believe that he has any 2-mana adventure creatures, but, let's just not take any chances.
Mm-hmm. Brushfire can get in for some damage as the game progresses, but it's not going to, upend the whole board state that you wouldn't want to have Essence Scatter up for turn 3. Fabrizio maybe thinking here about playing Omen of the Sea right now to try and hit a different land and then save the passage for turn 4. Is that what's going on? Yeah, it looks like it.
Kind of like that play.
Yeah.
I think you want, yeah. You cannot take the next turn off also doing a 2-mana preordained, so
yeah, and is rewarded.
Gets paid off.
Yeah, and is able to then flow into 4 mana an Extinction Event on turn 4, which is going to be huge.
That's going to be huge because he's losing half of his life points right now.
Yeah. So it's a very good thing he did things the way he did. Otherwise, I think you could make the case that he would be. Well, I guess he could have Essence Scattered one of these if he hadn't done that, but this certainly worked out well. As well as anything works out, like you're saying, when you're losing 10 life on turn 3.
That is the power of the Gruul deck.
Yeah.
Even your bad matchups, you can always just steal with the double Brushfire draw, especially with the fetch land. So much damage.
Now we just hope Carson's not sitting on a couple of Crowan Wars.
Looks like we might get a little bit here.
Okay.
It doesn't have the land, I would guess. No, doesn't want. I don't know about that. I think. Oh, it was a tap land. Okay, I see what's going on.
It was tap land, but this works out. I mean, eliminate can take out the innkeeper, and then counter magic is available if Fabrizio wants it. Let's see. Is there another way he wants to do it? Yeah, that's what he's going to opt for.
Maybe the correct play was to hold the innkeeper because you would have 4 mana the next turn, but it would not have worked out either way.
Oh, Bone Crusher comes down. Which counterspell would you like to play here?
Gonna go with the mana efficiency.
Right.
Most of the Gruul cards are creatures, so I like using the more expensive card there.
Yeah, and this without drawing a land, this would have still allowed Yorion to go into hand and Scatter being up, so that's nice. Since there's a land drawn, Omen the Sea can now be sacrificed if it wants to be, which probably doesn't because Yorion comes down.
All right, well, we said at the beginning that he needs to curve out and then plant Ox. Did just that, but it might even not be good enough still.
Right, and unlike the Rogues matchup that we just watched, this Ox is probably not coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, the important part is that Extinction Event exiles, so does not fill up the graveyard.
This is a double keep here with Mazemind Tome and Bloodchief's Thirst.
Feels like he needs to gas back up here. Running out of counter spells. Vulnerable to a haste creature, although I think the only one in the main deck is just the Brushfire Elementals.
Right, I think that's
so if he draws another one of his 2 of, we could have a game.
Well, obviously, evidently not with a mountain.
Yeah, and main phase 1 land, not gonna.
Right. So that suggests there's probably another land in the hand. Otherwise, you'd think you'd want to hold one back for the Brushfire.
Now I think that the Crawling Barrens stops that plan.
Right.
He has enough mana to pump it twice.
Right. Yeah, so that would be able to do that. That looks pretty solid. So Jawari Disruption goes to the bottom. Crawling Barrens stays on top. And Fabrizio Anteri looks pretty well set.
Looks like there's a stop there. Might have a Bone Crusher Giant.
Okay.
So Bone Crusher Giant and then a Brushfire Elemental plus a fetch land. Although
still can't get through though.
There, okay, that's an interesting play.
Still couldn't get through because the Crawling Barrens would just not. You wouldn't have to animate it until the second activation. So
it does have the Embercleave now, which
right.
Is that enough? Land Brushfire Embercleave is. No, but now that thing is going to be an 8/8 on defense. Yeah. I don't even think fetch land. Yeah, if not even fetch land, Brushfire does it now.
So Fabrizio chooses to bypass the free card in order to put counters on the land, and that may be because he's planning on attacking for the win right now.
Yeah, not anything. Yeah, just there's only removal deals 3 at the most. Right. Only 1 card in hand.
Crawling Barrens finishes off combined with the Orient. So that was a well navigated game by Fabrizio Anteri. That was not a play that every player would have made on turn 3 by playing the Omen and instead of holding mana up for other things. So good on him. Or I'm sorry.
Let him hit all his land drops. Really important to do in this deck.
Yeah. So we're looking at what options there are available. There is the Verdict. There is a smattering of other removal spells that we see likely to join in. We see the Erebos Intervention.
Not Mazemind Tome comes out.
But certainly
it is a pretty okay removal spell. The landfall creatures are only big half the time, so you can pick something off. And one of his more threatening cards is the Ox, so you can stop that plan in its tracks.
Right, so we don't have a chance to get over to the other sideboard for Carson, but we've seen it earlier in the day a couple times. And also, both these players make sense. We made it to the finals of the tournament. They know what they're doing. They don't need as much time to sideboard, so they left us a little short on time to look at what Carson had access to there. But
I think it's more about not what he has access to, but what he can take out. Yeah,
right. What he can take out, which is likely the Clone Wars in trade for. I'm just looking at sideboard right now. Is 3 copies of Vivian, 1 Ox, 3 Questing Beast, 2 Colossus, 2 Soul Spear, 3 Wilt, and 1 Fire Prophecy, if you're curious. So certainly there are some heavy hitters with Vivian, Questing Beast, and Klothys to replace some of the cards that are not ideal.
Yeah, Questing Beast and Vivian line up both pretty well against Ashiok. There are a couple other things in here too. The Klothys, not as good against Rose. It doesn't turn off any of Fabrizio's cards. It just is indestructible Sulfuric Vortex, essentially. Doesn't really care about the life either, but hey, Sulfuric Vortex is good against control, right?
Yeah, that has been my experience, unless your opponents forget to trigger, which I have had happen plenty of times, and so has everybody else. So we see Mammoth in play here. There are options to remove it. There is Atris in hand to gas up next turn if the extinction event is not required.
Going to main phase kill the Mammoth to play around the Great Henge, I believe. Yeah, he couldn't even use Eliminate on Questing Beast, so it looks like it paid off pretty well.
Second Crawling Barrens.
Might continue to play around the Great Henge here, just main phasing his spells.
Sure, so you'd fire off the Extinction Event right now. I think that's reasonable. Instead, we see Atris come down.
It's like he's trying to get another card of value out of it.
Mm-hmm. Atris can block the Questing Beast because of the 3rd point of power. And let's see, we're looking for...
These are always good.
Yeah.
What the hell is that one card there? Oh, it's Extinction Event.
Heartless Act, Rewind. Rewind is nice when you have Crawling Barrens.
You'll always be able to spend your mana.
Yeah.
It's like he's not going to give him the option to chump block.
Okay.
And does not have the Great Henge either.
Chunk out of the life total.
Can get away with playing Edgehole Innkeeper here because it is not the same... does not get swept up in an Extinction Event.
Mm-hmm. And the Verdict wouldn't do it because it wouldn't kill the Questing Beast, so that would be basically uncastable on this turn.
Yeah.
So Fabrizio's got, let's see, he can Extinction Event away the Beast. He can hold up his mana and then Heartless Act, which would likely prevent the Edgewall Innkeeper from attacking.
This is not mana efficient. Okay. Okay, it is mana efficient. He has a companion.
All right, so Yorion comes into hand and Questing Beast hits the graveyard. Not the ideal way to deal with Questing Beast with an instant is you want to wait for combat so a second one can't replace it, but Yorion coming into hand does make good use of the turn.
Yeah, you know what's kind of funny is that when you have like the factor fiction type effects, and they split a card in the one and like they put like fewer cards together, and you can kind of identify that like, okay, well, normally this card wouldn't justify being in the pile with less cards. And he has one in his hand, right? So he was extra afraid of it, if you think about it, you know?
Right. Okay, so we see Extinction Event.
This exact scenario plays out where he gets 2 for 1 by Extinction Event.
Clear the board, and then Jawari Disruption was drawn this turn, and I don't know what the odds are that they can actually catch something this turn, but that would certainly be great for setting up the rest of the game.
Oh, no, okay. The fetch land of the Great Henge would have been pretty scary there, and Jawari Disruption would have protected you from that exact sequence. Maybe another Questing Beast that turn, but now I think the window's closed.
Yeah, so now we have Rewind available. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So
and he knows about Rewind and Yorion, but not the other 3. Okay.
Crawling Barrens is not a viable blocker on Brushfire this turn, but it could be next turn.
Yeah, let's take the damage here. Yeah, I don't. It's just a 1/1 now, man. Gonna preserve his life total though.
Yeah.
Never the worst option. Yeah, though. What do you do about this? Okay.
So Rewind fires off. Now there's gonna be the option to either put counters on Crawling Barrens or to cast Cling to Dust.
Think more. Yeah. Jawari Disruption not exactly cutting it as far as... Oh, well, there's no spells in the graveyard, so... If you want to draw a card, you have to whittle away your own ability to escape. Probably still to play, though, yeah. Gruul has the ability to deal damage, and... Okay, you have to be careful here not to fizzle your own spell. A lesson that I've learned the hard way. Yeah, skipping over the Fabled Passage. Professional player.
Indeed. All right, so card is added to the grip. It's not the best. Neither is the next one.
You can block any haste creature with the Yorion, unless there's fetch land involved. And
so we could see Yorion and then have Cycle Mana available.
Some sort of... The scariest thing here is probably Vivian. Oh, whoa! Spoke too soon. Speak of the devil.
Okay, well, that was this. This is certainly a scenario where getting the Yorion out there would have been preferable, as at least could have started knocking the tokens out of the way.
Fabrizio declines to cycle because he wants to get this Crawling Barrens. No, okay. If the play was to cycle at end step, I think it was better to.
Right.
But he will be able to attack Vivian for 4. Vivian does line up pretty well against Ashiok. The tokens are just rumble a little bit better.
So is there enough mana to attack and play Ashiok? It looks like there's one short, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I think attacking might have been the play. This is kind of risky. Because if there's more blockers coming down, like a Lovestruck Beast block to get a 1/1 down to throw onto the butts of the Crawling Barrens, and now Vivian also has that second static ability, War of the Spark style, where it has a future sight for creatures. You can play creatures off the top of your deck.
Yeah, that can get out of hand real quick.
Yeah, the longer that's in play. And you can see here that Vivian kind of wins the heads up. Yeah, see, he's just Carson gets to build a board presence, but Fabrizio just has to throw it away for life points. Thinking about Embercleave also.
This is tough. So the Crawling Barrens can go to a 4/4 at the end of the turn. Oh boy.
Yeah, let's see. We're 8 minus 3 is 5.
Good work. So this means that Bone Crusher isn't quite lethal
down to 3. And another token coming here. Probably with Trample, I would guess. Reach. Oh, and another blocker.
Shawari Disruption, get in there.
Yeah, he might not even be able to do it. He has to spend his mana on Crawling Barrens. That's embarrassing, man. Like you can't even you get to cast Censor on turn get to cast Force Spike on turn 12 here, and it's not even clear that that's the best line of play. Okay.
All right.
Ashiok does work well against tokens with the minus ability.
Right.
But you don't have a way to just deal with the simple equip and then attack again. You'd have to get a Crawling Barrens up to fighting power. Great Henge down. Using the emote again. Yorion to put the Ashiok up to loyalty and go under the bus.
So we could have...
Cannot get the Omen out there.
Why?
Double block.
Oh, because we have to
double block with the land here.
Yeah. Okay, well, Fabrizio's doing his best here to hold this together, but this is definitely tough.
Yeah, Embercleave on the table.
So that would make so the Yorion and the token trade on their own, or the Crawling Barrens, either one.
The attack here. How much loyalty does the Vivian have? 6. So yeah, he can pick off the Crawling Barrens. But now the Yorion and the second Crawling Barrens could attack the Vivian, although then he would be exposed.
Would you have killed if you're
Crawling Barrens?
Carson, would you have killed the Yorion?
I think the Yorion was the better of the two options.
That's my feeling also. Let's see. They're empty-handed now, so Ashiok can kill anything.
Crawling Barrens would grow to a 6/6, but it does cost mana to activate, whereas Yorion is a 4/5, but it's it's free, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
I think
Ashiok doesn't get value, but it does kill a token.
Well, Ashiok kills anything because there's no cards in hand.
Yeah. Embercleave is Embercleave or Vivian the pick?
I think it has dangerous. I think it has to be Vivian. The top. I'm very afraid of the top of the deck if I'm in Fabrizio's seat right now.
Do you cast Omen of the Sea to inform your decision?
I think you do.
First.
Yeah.
I think it's close enough that you need to have as much info as possible.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it could be
unless you want to have Cling to Dust, you could go Cling to Dust and activate Crawling Barrens or Omen of the Sea. But you can't
double activate Crawling Barrens. It looks like he wants as much mana as possible so that the Crawling Barrens becomes a 4/4. If the Crawling Barrens become a 4, that will allow him to do the same play as last time.
Mm-hmm. And just trade off the bulk of the not the bulk of the board. You trade
his token for And I think that's a good play because he still can spend the rest of his mana on the Lovestruck Beast. Whittling away at these blockers is nice. Playing around Stomp there.
Right. Very nice. So that's why the mana he didn't want to use the mana for one of the other spells because he wanted to be able to do this, which is completely reasonable. Okay, trades off for another.
Feels like he beat the Embercleave. And land Lovestruck Beast. Okay.
I don't love playing that land there when you're playing against Ashiok. Not this Ashiok, but if another Ashiok came down, like the Embercleave, you just get bounced out of existence by not holding that land.
Yeah, plus the landfall creatures,
Yeah.
One just in case.
Fabrizio has got
a big shark.
This is
not a baby shark.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9.
7/7. Yeah, that'll soak up the entire 12-point Lovestruck Beast with the help of these other creatures, and then what else is going on? When the Ashiok is at the ready.
That's true.
Never mind.
Excellent.
Okay, we still have a game here.
Okay, so Embercleave can't equip this turn unless a land is drawn, which could easily happen. All right.
So let's see here. 6 times 2 is 12 minus 7. And then, I don't know about the attack with the 1/1. Oh, I guess. I mean, he doesn't know that he is the shark, but this is okay for Fab, but it lines up a little bit short because that's a 12-point Lovestruck Beast attack, and 7 plus 5 is 12. So, kills a lot of the flyers, and I think you can pick off the 1/1 for free.
I think you do too. I mean, yeah. So now you're stuck by
your board is all these dorky nightmare Curd Apes. The Embercleave is still on the board.
Yeah, well, that's gonna have to hope that the Omen of the Sea finds an answer to something here.
It's gotta, the issue with the Embercleave in the situation is that every creature is just a big sword wielding maniac.
I mean, I guess the Ox can get bounced at the cost of the Ashiok to buy time. All right.
You really hate to bounce the Ancestral Recall, though.
I know, but I try to do what I can to survive here. Okay, that
Erebos Intervention is probably the card you want to put in your hand.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you could minus the Ashiok because it's going to be. I guess you could get a 2/3 out of the deal and then minus it next turn. It's probably fine either way.
Okay, he takes the Embercleave off the board.
Going in the tank is kind of a bad sign for Fabrizio.
Yeah. I was thinking
options.
I was thinking there's bound to be
options are always bad. Magic's a zero-sum game. You want as many of the options as possible, and you want your opponent to have as few.
All right, so
Did he get a chance to see what got pitched there? The
I
exile.
did not.
Oh, he popped it out. It looked like an innkeeper, I think. That's also a problem. Now we're under the gun in terms of card advantage as well.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. That was really close.
Okay.
The wire
Well,
disruption did something.
If both
Okay,
creatures, no, they're not going to though.
He has enough mana to pay 5 for intervention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can wipe that out, trade, and then kill the Ox in the graveyard, and then he only has to deal with the Great Henge.
Any creature that comes through, though, any creature that hits the board is going to be a threat, though.
I know. I guess he can bounce the Great Henge with the Ashiok that's on top of the deck.
Yeah.
Actually, it can't be recast yet.
Does he have enough? He definitely has enough mana to escape Cling to Dust and play Ashiok. Yeah. Putting the shields down on Jawari Disruption, though. How do you feel about that, Joe?
Wait, putting the shields down. You're gonna nail Great Henge when it gets full cast for 9 mana.
He has to escape Cling to Dust, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how many cards are in the graveyard. Yeah, it looks like that's a threat here.
There's 9.
When will Fabrizio Anteri finally just stop being so proud about these Jawari disruptions and just play them as tap lane, man? Like, come on. Yeah, no, okay. We've given up the dream now. It's coming into play. All right, it's on the table. It's on the table. Looks like a point short of casting the Great Henge. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Mammoth without the Henge bonus, and then 1, 2, 3, 4.
Another creature that powers through the Ashiok tokens.
Right, but at least the Great Henge stayed in hand and didn't draw up a card for the turn.
Yeah. Definitely has another card in his hand, though. That is not a land, I don't think. Thinking about looking at the Ashiok there, I think. Oh. All right. Note that there is only one Yorion, and it's the companion. So
right.
There's not really a reason to keep these Omen of the Sea around. So now is about the best time that they're going to get cashed in. Okay, so it's going to be pretty tough to. The thing about Fact or Fiction is that it's sometimes you always get the card you want, but it'll be difficult. So if there's a counterspell on these cards.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know about always getting the card you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that was a decent split, but
yeah. All right, Strand the Great Henge in the hand. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Land lets it come into play.
Creature lets it come into play the turn after if it's the right creature.
Right.
Although any creature does it, right?
Okay, who cares about that? Mana available to Fabrizio Anteri, first time playing a Nerd Rage event, making his
Oh! I forget about the Great Henge coming into play.
Well,
I guess it doesn't. I guess it's not too crazy. It's just Cryptic Command, right? But
yeah, these are just expensive Cryptic Commands at this point.
Yeah, we'll take them though.
Yeah.
You let it rip. Counter draw. Yeah, there's a lot of text on this card, but a lot of it requires you there to be other stuff in play. There's only 2 permits. Yeah, we're going to cycle this one. Looks like there's maybe one more cycle in the chamber here. Looks like it's got 7.
7, 8, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty
good.
Looking
good, yeah.
It's starting to come together. You know what would really help is one of those Maze Mind tomes.
Yeah. He's bought. Yeah, it looks. No, those are no longer in the deck actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't really need the Shadows Verdict, I don't think. Okay, we're going to get the Henge out of the way. Then we'll be down to neutralize and 2 fresh cards versus. Yeah, we're going to. So we're going to get the first fresh card here, and then the Sublime Epiphany will draw another fresh card, and then the draw step. So it'll be neutralize and 3 random cards versus nothing.
Yeah, this is tilted in And somehow Fabrizio's at 11. I feel like he should be at about 2 right now.
Yeah,
Not saying that Carson has botched this, just that it feels like he's been on the edge of death for so long.
Yeah, he was at 3 for a while there, but I think was it
Yeah.
Clean Dust that got
It was the Airbus intervention that gained 5, I think.
5.
So
Yeah,
that was nice.
and then a Clean Dust hit the Ox. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
We upgraded one of our random cards to a preordain, which might grab a negate here.
I think that's fine. I mean, I don't
Yeah, it looks like
he's see a big come down or anything.
And it's probably scrying in the upkeep again. Once again, the Yorion is gone. I think the only way that he can win is Shark Typhoon or Ashiok. So there is the clock. Yeah, that was really the piece he was missing, either a Shark or an Ashiok.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's got it all wrapped up. I mean,
yeah, I think.
Life. So if you run a runners a couple things, maybe. But that's be pretty difficult. Innkeeper, the best card against counterspells.
I mean, that's amusingly crappy because it's actually not going to get countered, yeah.
Yeah, and then it might get another card if Loveman is the next card on top. Carson's got to be careful. He shouldn't cast the adventure half of any of his adventure spells.
Yeah,
which is not an intuitive line of play because, go ahead.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. He should not cast the front half because he needs the spell to resolve and draw a card. Fabrizio checking his graveyard there with his fetch land and most likely determining that he absolutely does not want to fetch, as 5 of the bottom 6 cards of the deck are land.
That is a little nice thing you can do in Arena. You don't have to, I've heard tale of players writing down the contents of their deck after they do one of those scry combos or something. Not necessary here.
I remember years ago, this was a feature match I was watching in person. Jerry Thompson playing against someone playing Goblins and Legacy, and the player had ringleadered twice, and there was 5 lands on the bottom of the deck, and they fetched to thin. And after the match, Jerry Thompson pointed out that probably really didn't do anything aside from shuffle a bunch of lands back into the deck, and the other player sheepishly agreed and probably learned a lot.
Looks like we're going to go with a couple Mythic Rares and a removal spell here.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff. Ashiok Ultimate is frequently exciting. That's the second one we've seen today. First one was the Ultimatum.
Vivian, not the best in Fabrizio's deck. There are 0 creatures except for the that blue-black legend, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Well, maybe there'll be some bizarre scenario where he decides he needs to fetch to shuffle, and that looks like it's going to be it. Fabrizio Anteri, with a pretty impressive display, takes down the event with blue-black Yorion control. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, he was able to bob and weave there. Came close to death a couple times, but was able to gain his way back to a save life total.
Yeah, I thought we might see game 3, and we were denied. Carson came up just short. Congratulations to him for finishing second. And Fabrizio Anteri wins the grand prize tonight. In addition to the cash prize, he also gets a free entry and a round 1 buy into our showdown, which is on December 20th. We'll pop that up real quick just to briefly let people see it. If we have it, there it is. A $25 Legacy and Modern split format event on December 20th. Anyone can play. Registration is available now on MTG Melee, and coverage will be here on Twitch TV/NRG Series. So back to us. Back to Fabrizio and Terry just walking through this event. What do you think? Is this blue-black deck? I mean, looks pretty solid.
Yeah, Standard is a lot about metagaming, and every deck has one weakness, and you have to kind of figure out what the least popular deck is sometimes, and then pick the deck that doesn't lose to that. And you can see there that he dodged the one rogue player in our top 8. I don't know what his loss in the Swiss was to, but Rogue's is not that popular, and didn't get any of his expensive blue spells mystical disputed.
Yeah, that's true. And he did get to Jawari Disruption, all kinds of random stuff.
People tapping out for Wicked Wolves and freaking 6 mana 7/6s.
Yeah, no, we ran really well. It was impressive. And Ashiok is one of your finishers. I mean, Shark Typhoon is maybe a bigger finisher, but Ashiok is such a cool card, and we actually got to see it ultimate a couple times, which makes it fun for us watching. Anyway, Eli, this is your first time here with us. Thanks for being here. I hope you took away some positive stuff from the experience. Please tell me you did.
Pleasure to be here. You have
you had something you wanted to plug for yourself. You started streaming again. That's right. So you want to tell people where they can find you?
Oh yeah, you can catch me on Twitch /BlackShirtMan. I usually stream on Mondays. I don't have a set schedule, but usually I can be free up on Monday.
All right, cool. Well, you guys can find Eli there. Want to thank our other commentators today, Caroline Kavanaugh and Becky Bell, that were here for the earlier part of the rounds. Nerd Rage presents these events on behalf of owner Norman Cohen, technology director and tournament producer Max Kahn, and myself, Joe Lossett. Thanks for joining us, and we'll hope to see you next month.